Shalom. First and foremost, as always, I would like to begin this lesson off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to our power, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash, the honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who have taught us all this truth, and the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. I'm Shaquat from the Great Millstone, Dallas branch, back here with another lesson, Lord willing to edifying to the hopeful elect. Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, Barakatham, to you sincere, Akim, walk forth you, minister sincere, shalom to you brothers that are out here pushing this truth down the highways and the byways and through the YouTube lessons, man, shalom to you all. Lord willing, this lesson be edifying and exhorting to the elect. Alright, so without further ado, we're going to get into the nitty gritty. Alright, well, first and foremost, let me also say this, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Malakia Yahweh Shai, Malakia Yahweh Shai, Malakia Yahweh Shai. Halal Malakia Yahweh Shai. Call halal Malak Yahweh Shai. Call halal Malak Yahweh Shai. Call halal Malak Yahweh Shai. May the king live, reign, prosper forever. That is the king. Alright, so anyway, let's get to the nitty gritty. Canada is about to crack down on the word. Now I'm about a day late and $1 short on this shit. I've been meaning to do this lesson for a minute. You know, that's why this week I've been literally just touching on lessons I've been meaning to do forever ago. So just trying to catch back up, but you know, things pop up all the time, so we just gotta maneuver and be able to adjust in the spirit, right? So this video is about from 3 weeks ago that a brother posted on Instagram, so I'm gonna get to it, you know, because better late than never, right? But before we do, I would like to say this video will be used and conducted under the Fair Use Copyrights Act of 1976. All public information can and will be used in this video for the purpose of education, teaching, criticism, and news reporting. This video will not be monetized. It's a non-profit video. And yeah, let's get to it. I have a few precepts set up that just came to mind. I'm on my lunch break, so let's try to be efficient. All right, but yeah, man, some precepts that just came to my mind, so I'm just gonna get into it. Let's go to the Instagram. I hate Instagram. Alright. Some of these I need to delete. I don't need them no more. See, this lesson been saved since February. Yeah.
Evangelical Fellowship of Canada has weighed in on the recent passing, so this has passed in Canada.
Why this thing glitching? Well, first let me mute my mic, and then I'm gonna let it play. I don't know why it's glitching. All right, so here we go. I'm gonna let it play.
Passed in Canada of this Bill C-9, which critics say weakens free speech protections on religious matters. Under the changes, people who make religious statements deemed controversial, and this is a key highlight right here. Statements that are deemed controversial or quote unquote inflammatory or quote unquote offensive by others will no longer be able to use the legal defense that they spoke in quote good faith. This is according to the provisions of Bill C-9. They will take effect after receiving royal assent. Prior to the bill's passage, Finnish politician Pavi Rossinen, I believe, and I probably slaughtered that, forgive me, warned against any measure that could potentially limit freedom of speech, citing her own years-long battle in Finland over a tweet and a decades-old pamphlet. So they're pulling stuff up from decades ago that they'll use against you and free in the name of prosecuting you because these provisions of defense have been removed because of this bill. Now, guys, this is terrifying in all different ways. Let me go to one angle and then we'll go to the other angle. Okay, let's talk about the ramifications of this bill. Now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you this. This was a excellent commentary done on this. This was from prophecynewswatch.com. Bill C9 changes everything for Canadian Christians. So I want to get into this and breaking this down. And this is what's terrifying. Supporters describe the legislation as a necessary combat hatred and protect vulnerable groups. Okay. The bill expands Canada's hate crime and hate propaganda laws and introduces new measures designed to address hate motivated conduct. On the surface, many Canadians may see little reason for concern. However, buried within this legislation is a change that has many Christians concerned. That's what we want to talk about today. Civil liberties advocates and free speech defenders are all sounding the alarm on this. Again, I want to re-emphasize something here. For decades, Canada's criminal code contained a defense that protected the good faith expressions of opinions on religious subjects and religious texts in certain hate promotion cases. This new bill has completely stripped all protection of that. It's gone. There's no protection. Now, why is that important? Because supporters argue that the change closes a loophole that could potentially be abused to justify genuine hatred. Critics see something very different. They warn that the party now has removed an important safeguard that helped protect religious expression. What this does, it leaves future courts and prosecutors with great authority to determine where legitimate religious teaching ends and criminal hate promotion begins. Now, I want to interject something here. You may be an American and be listening to this and say, well, Brother Ricky, this doesn't relate to me. This has no relevance to me. I'm not a Canadian. My friend, I don't know how many times we have to tell you this, but what happens to our neighbors up north is coming to our door. This is coming to America. And you look at the environment right now that we're dealing with. Can we talk about the horizon for a second on a political realm? You guys know I don't do a lot of politics. You know my stance on this by now. You know where I stand with this left wing, right wing, same bird, same theory, the whole 9 yards. But practically speaking, America is now progressing toward socialism. Polls are talking about this. Surveys are talking about this. The election results that we just saw in New York, things that are happening and shifting. Social media. If you don't believe me, you get on social media pages. Even on Christian social media pages, on our own on Facebook page, on End Time Headlines, when we reported about this, the comments were flooded with supporters of socialism, aka communism, aka Marxism. All of this, this is the same batch. It's all in the same ingredients, and you can't separate all that stuff. That's where it's all going. And what's that going to lead to? Well, in the essence of New York, if we're going to talk about New York, there's a growing movement of Islam in New York, and guised in the name of socialism. So this is where America is progressing toward. Now, why is that important? Because, again, who do you think is going to be the religion that's protected under this bill? What do you think's happening? What do you think one of the fastest growing religions are in Canada and the United Kingdom, in Britain? You guessed it. This is going to be geared more of the defense of protecting them. So what's going to happen when a street minister or an evangelist stands on a street corner and he proclaims that Jesus Christ is the only way to the Father? There's no other name given under heaven unto men in which we must be saved. What's going to happen when he gets up and he declares that there is no other God but Yeshua, Jesus Christ, and all other
And allow me to interject real quick. Those people he was talking about, where he was like, you guessed it, he's talking about the small hats. All right, that's first and foremost. And secondly, I know he's saying all that Jesus, blah, 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 rah, rah. We know Jesus ain't the name of the Lord. Jesus is not Lord. He is not the only one. He is not the one and only. He ain't shit. That nigga is through. Caesar Borgia is today in the reincarnation. We believe it to be the guy named Jacob Rothschild, if I'm not mistaken. If his name is not Jacob, it start with a J. And the nigga is through. All right, just to say the least, honestly. So just wanted to interject and say that we're gonna let it keep playing though.
Yeshua, Jesus Christ, and all other prophets were false prophets, but Jesus was the only true prophet. What do you think's going to happen when he says something like that? What do you think's going to happen when you have groups like the LGBTQ and these radicalized groups of individuals that you see in the days of Lot in the cities of the plains, Genesis 19, and they're out there, and you've got evangelicals, you've got evangelists, street ministers out there with the word of God declaring openly that God made two genders, or that God made marriage in the confines of a husband and a wife, or he preaches out of the Old Testament that condemns a man dressing as a woman. What do you think's going to happen? I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. Now that in Canada, since this Bill C-9 has stripped all protection away, these individuals will end up heavily fined and imprisoned. And again, I'm circling back around to America, because I know there's going to be people with that mentality. Well, this has nothing to do with me. This has no relevance to me. I'm an American. Not if, but when America sees yet another further major shift. Remember, Barack Obama came in 2008 and said he was going to, quote unquote, fundamentally change America. And you know what? He did. And we have never regressed from that. It's the fundamental change is continually to move forward. In 2015, the Supreme Court ruled that same-sex marriage would be the law of the land. Has it been undone? Nope. And even the abortion issue, Roe versus Wade, that they're trying to undo that again, and they're going to try to reverse that again. So I'm telling you guys, if and when, and I say more than when than if, when America completely turns and goes secular, unless there's an awakening, there's been two great awakenings in history. I'm not saying that it can't happen again, but we're in the age of apostasy, the falling away. Then this is going to be, this law right here that you see in Canada, this is coming to America. All right, I got to go on, guys. I can't. All
right, there we go. I was like, what's going on? To interject again, the Great Awakening has already taken place. You know, that's Baruch, the second chapter. Baruch, is that the second chapter? Yeah, Baruch, the second chapter. But really, verse 30 is the point. You can read above and below that. You know, so the mass great awakening has already taken place. All right, you have in the book of Peter, forget which chapter and verse, but book, chapter, verse, but it's in the book of Peter where it says, the Lord gonna stir up our pure minds by way of remembrance. So the great awakening has already taken place. You also got back in the book of I don't know if it's Nahum or Hosea, but back in one of them books, I believe Nahum maybe, but it's a book that goes into how on the third day the Lord is going to revive us. We got Ezekiel 37, right, and various other scriptures, you know, Revelation 11, where the Lord is awakening us back to who we are as a people. So it's already taken place. It's not what you think it is. What this devil thinks it is, he's wrong. All right. What he's thinking in his head, it's going to be, unless there's a massive nigga that already happened. Israel has awoken, fuck nigga. A lot of Israelites know that they're Israelites. That don't mean they're going to be saved, but a lot of Israelites know that they're Israelites. Therefore, the great awakening has already happened. Now, we at the time where shit about to get wicked. All right, because iniquity shall abound, the love of many is going to wax cold. We at that point where shit about to get real heated because the earth has waxed old. That's 2 Ezra 14. All right, so let's get back to the video. I'm going to let the video play out. Slack it for it been so long.
All right, I got to go on, guys. I can't, I don't, the whole. Sound alarm is provision, refusing to feed the poor.
Man, I would have popped that shit a long time ago. I didn't know this shit was 15 minutes. Nigga, that shit was 15 minutes. We watch no more of that. We finna get to the precepts. I'm gonna be here all damn day. Alright, so just to see the brother Malachi put in the comments, and go subscribe to that brother. His YouTube is GMS Jacob Will Prevail. Alright. So says Canada passes a C9 bill that prohibits religious speech defense and religious views on modern matters. Famine of the word is coming, indeed. All right, and that bill has been passed, and we actually have a lot of brothers from Great Millstone that's in Canada. All right, so we are just await to see what the Elder Apostle Tahar, you know, gives the order out for those brothers when, you know, they start cracking down even harder up there in Canada. And this guy in the video was correct. These things are coming to America very soon. These things will come to Babylon the Great. All right, so that nigga was right, because he was right on that. He was 100% correct on that. Alrighty, so without further ado, we're gonna get the we will get that precepts. Let me see. So since we're here in Ezekiel already, let's just get this one first. This is Ezekiel 3:26. And I will make thy tongue cleave to the roof of thy mouth, that thou shalt be dumb, and shall not be to them a reprover, for they are a rebellious house. You understand? So there you go. So pretty much, this is the Lord telling Ezekiel, there's going to come a time where I'm not going to allow you to prophesy to our people anymore, to my people anymore, because they're rebellious. So they're going to just get the judgment at that point, because they don't want to hear anyway. right? So we're coming into that same time again. Things written aforetime were written for our learning. So we're coming into a time again where the Lord is about to seal the mouth of his prophets. And so we can't teach them no more. We can't rebuke them no more. Reprove, meaning correct. We can't correct them anymore. He's about to come to a time where he's going to cling our tongues to the roof of our mouths. You try talking with your tongue clung to the roof of your mouth. All right? Try talking with your tongue clave to the roof of your mouth. Try to do so. All right? So he's going to do that so he could just ultimately bring judgment on our people. So these are the times that we're coming into, and the Lord's doing that. He's using Esau to bring the crackdown on the word, which eventually is coming soon. Eventually, very soon, man, just expect Elder Apostle Tahar to put the order out, you know, very soon, because shit is about to get even worse. And it's going to come a time where the Lord ain't going to have us out there in the highways and hedges no more. It's just going to be pointless at a certain point. All right. And this reminds me of the book of Proverbs. Let's go to Proverbs 1. Now, you see all this. We're not going to read all this, but you know, wisdom crieth without in the streets. Along ye simple ones love simplicity, right? So we out here prophesying through the spirit of power, Yahweh Shemel Shai, but y'all want to constantly rebel against the word. All right, y'all want to constantly rebel against the word. So what's the Lord going to do? Well, this is it. He says, I also will laugh at your calamity. In verse 26 in Proverbs 1, I will mock when your fear cometh. When your fear cometh as desolation, and your destruction as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish cometh upon you, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. So then are people going to start searching for the word? They're going to start searching for the prophets, but the Lord is not going to answer them. When they find a prophet, say they find a prophet, the Lord ain't going to answer them people. By what that mean? The prophet won't speak to him. What did the Lord tell Ezekiel? I'm going to make you dumb. Basically meaning you ain't going to speak. Are you just going to say, I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. You're going to act stupid. Or you're just going to not speak to him. So some people going to find us. And we not going to say shit to them. Or we just going to say, I don't know what you're talking about, man. I seriously don't know what you're talking about. I genuinely don't know. What do you mean? You know? So those times are coming. The Lord ain't going to answer you. And then you're going to seek us early. Well, you're going to seek the Lord early, but you're going to do it by the way you're trying to find us. You know, so right before it gets super duper bad, you're going to start seeking. But guess what? You won't find the Lord out there because we won't be out there no more. And it says the reason why is because they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of the Lord. All right. They were none of my counsel. They despised all my reproof. Therefore, they eat the fruit of their own way and be filled with their own devices, because the Lord has a thing where he says all throughout the scriptures where you're going to reap what you've been sowing. You've been sowing bullshit, you're going to reap the same. All right. So there you go. Now let's go to that Amos, the famous Amos 8 and 11. Let me just get 11. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord power, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord. So the Lord is going to send a famine he's also going to send a famine of bread and thirst of water. But this famine right here is talking about a famine from being able to hear the gospel. And the only way you hear the gospel is through the mouth of the prophets. We won't be on YouTube no more, Instagram, TikTok, whatever. All right, all that shit gonna be clipped. We damn sure ain't gonna be on the highways and hedges at a certain time. All right? Because you still may have us teaching on these platforms still for a little period of time after being told, you know, given the order, they don't go on the highways no more. Fuck that. We good on that now. You know, that part of the ministry is done. As we're coming to the end of that aspect of the ministry, where we're out there on the highways and hedges, we're coming to the end of that. Because things are starting to get more evil. All right, so it ain't safe out there. Ultimately, we got the Lord, of course. We're putting our bodies out in the living sacrifice anyway. It ain't safe right now. But the point is, it's going to come a point in time where we won't be needed out there no more. So we have done what we were needed to do for Yahweh by Shemel Shai. He's going to put the spirit on the Elder Apostle Tahar to give us the order. All right. And that'll be that. And we may still be on these platforms for a little while. But even then, the Lord gonna put out the order, and we ain't gonna be on that no more. Fucking cyber attacks, EMP attacks, yeah. Until that time is coming. So it's behooving to get the word now. And like it says in the book of Hebrews, the 2nd chapter, and also in the book of Isaiah 56 and 55 and verse 6, it says, "Seek ye the Lord while he may be found. Call ye upon him while he is near." Right? Now when you go on, it says, "And they shall wander," and that's what that Proverbs 1 was getting into. Now it says, "And they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north even to the east, and they shall run to and fro to seek the word of the Lord, and shall not find it." They shall not find, as I said in that video, the word of the Lord. Well, so there you go. All right, these people are going to seek for it, and you're not going to come upon it, man. You're going to be asked out and through. All right, so there you go. So it would be, behooving to get your act right and to stop bullshitting, because the Lord is about to bring great calamity to this place. All right, now since we're here in the book of Amos, let's go to that 5th chapter and 13th verse. Now it says, "Therefore the prudent," what does prudent mean? Prudent means you're wise. "So the prudent shall keep silent in that time." What time? The time of trouble. "For it is an evil time." So see, it's going to come to a point in time, all right, that things are going to be so evil, which we're here, honestly. We're just waiting for things to get a little bit worse, and the Lord going to get that order. But it's going to be such an evil time that we are not going to teach anymore. We're going to just keep silent because it's evil. It's a very evil time. You got to think about it. The scriptures say this devil is going to even spoil and destroy those who fear the Lord. So it's going to be that evil, man. I'm going to show you. In the 2nd Esdras 16 and verse 70, and it reads, For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection," meaning uprising, "upon those that fear the Lord." So it's going to be a great uprising, opposing to those that fear the Lord, man. And who is going to be opposing? This devil. All right. "They shall be like madmen, sparing none." All right. Then going to that martial law troops, "but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord." All right. So that's all. I just wanted to read that point. This devil is going to come in like a madman. And a part of that is shutting this word down, because this word is what's exposing him. All right. And a super deep ass nigga going on TikTok with his fucking shirt off and dreads and shit, talking about ether and the motherfucking shit like that. And the damn, the white man was created by the Anunnaki in the Caucasus. Nigga, a fuck nigga out there on social media saying that shit is not a threat to Esau. That's not exposing Esau, man. But the prophets of the Lord out there in the highways and the hedges and on these platforms chanting down Babylon, exposing who this devil truly is and his true nature, that's dangerous to Esau. That right there. And the Lord said he would use us to do this to this devil in the last days. Go to read 2 Thessalonians 2 and 8 and various other scriptures. All right, so there you go. So let's go to the next. I want to get over here, go back over here. Let's go to that Isaiah 59 and 19, my gang. "So shall they fear the name of the Lord from the west." Who is doing that? Us, because we're in the west. "And his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood." Who the enemy? Who the main enemy? Esau, Edom, the so-called self-proclaimed white man. "The Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him." And there you go. So this devil going to come in like a flood. He going to come in like a flood. Remember, spoiling and destroying those who fear the Lord. He going to come in like a flood. And guess what? The Lord going to lift up a standard. And what's that standard? Spiritual power. Let's go into the word standard. Muse, meaning to flee, escape, to take flight, disappear, depart. All right, to drive at, to put to flight, to drive hastily, to cause to disappear high. All right. So there you go. It's ultimately talking about an escape. We're going to escape. The Lord is going to allow for an escape from this devil's flood. And the main part of that escape is going to be spiritual power. So we're going to be able to escape the bounds of this flesh, and the Lord going to step in, and that's spiritual power. We're going to be able to fight off many things. You know, I can't really even go into detail on it, man, because it's going to be that. It's going to be something, man. That's standard. Spiritual power is coming. All right. And that standard can also go into other many miracles, like, hell, a bird bringing your ass a full course meal, like he did, like the Lord sent that raven to do in 2 Kings, you know, concerning Elijah, or was that 1 Kings? Probably the end of 1 Kings when that happened. But he sent that bird, that raven, to Elijah when he was in the wilderness, right? And various other things. Remember when the Lord had manna fall out of heaven when we were in the wilderness, right? And all these different things. So there you go. And I want to get one more, right? Yeah, I did have one more. And we're going to close the lesson off. You know, I hope it's edifying. I hope I'm not, rambling. Nothing like that. And this is Revelation 12:12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath. Who's the devil? Esau, Edom, the so-called self-proclaimed white man. This empire, the Roman Empire, even as well. But it's run by who? The so-called self-proclaimed white man. All right, so woe to the inhabitants of the earth and the sea. All right, which is mainly talking about so-called white race, because, the earth was given into the hands of the wicked. But that's also talking about anybody else who dwells in the world. So 2/3 Jakes, you're through. Woe to you. And it says, having great wrath. All right, for the devil has come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. You don't think this devil understands and knows that he has a short time? He's fully aware that he does not have much time left, which is why he's trying to fast track everything, and he's going to come down with great wrath on you, because he knows he got a short time. So he's just going to start taking his anger out on individuals. All right, because the nigga know he got a short time. These are the times we're in. And these are the times that are shortly going to get worse as the days go on. All right. So with that being said, I do hope and I pray that this lesson was edifying to the elect. In closing, I would like to close giving all praises, honor, and glory to our power, Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who have taught us all this truth, in the spirit and the power of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. And until next time, Abba Ball, Kum, Yesharala Gadol Abadiam, Lababal Gadol, Yahweh Mahar, Wa Hapatham. And until next time, I would like to say unto you all, keep enduring, keep pushing. This shit, hey, nigga, this shit almost over with, bro. Just remember, this shit is a bad nightmare. It's just one nightmare we're in, and when we wake up in the kingdom, hey, we gonna be in an everlasting dream. So just endure the nightmare. The dream is soon to come.